Hey everyone, this is my video submission to the Marzocco Australia-New Zealand Amateur Home Barista Championship 2020. My name is Chris. I live in Melbourne, Victoria. I'm an engineer by profession. I'm pretty passionate about coffee, as you can see my home setup. I got into specialty coffee roughly about 2013 when I visited Melbourne for the first time. My fiance introduced me to a cup of coffee and it was one of the best things I ever tasted. For me, coffee is not about the drink itself or the taste of the coffee itself. It's the whole process of preparing the beverage, and that could be from grinding beans, even weighing it out, pulling a shot, texturing the milk, and then seeing the final result. I find the whole process pretty meditative and very calming to myself. So just to quickly take you through my gear from right to left, I have the Marzocco GS3 MP. This is the manual paddle one. I've done some surgery on this. I've taken it apart myself, got all the panels powder coated in this deep blue. I also got the side mounted steam lever done up myself. I also do this weird thing where I put in stickers of all the coffee roasters, all the coffee that's been through this machine. Next to that is the Eureka Atom 65mm flat bar grinder, which I use for all espresso based drinks. And next to that is the Breville Smart Grinder Pro, which is used for all pour over or filter based drinks. And finally we have the Barista Gooseneck kettle, which is used for, again, pour over drinks. In addition, I also have an Akaya Pearl scale and a Barista Hustle pitcher and tamper.
So for this competition, I shall be preparing an espresso, a milk-based drink, and a signature drink. So let's jump straight into it. Okay, we're doing this binging with Babish style, so we are taking out the portafilter, tearing it out to zero, and then putting it in the grinder for some freshly ground beans. Speaking of beans, we're using the Industry Beans Fitzroy blend. This blend has a nice balance of acidity, along with some notes of chocolate, which I love. We're gonna dose about 19 grams, give it a tap to distribute the beans, and let's tamp that nice and even. We're then gonna purge out any old water in the brew head and lock in that portafilter. Place your favorite cup with a scale and let's start brewing. While that's brewing, let me tell you about today's sponsor. Oops. Just realized we don't have a sponsor since we're not quite there yet. Back to the shot, we are aiming for a yield of about 41 to 42 grams in 28 to 31 seconds. Let's stop that shot and take a minute to appreciate that beautiful crema and aroma. Moving on to the milk-based drink, I shall be preparing a classic flat white. And for this, I shall be using the Founder Blend by O&A Coffee. This coffee works great with milk, once again with those nutty and chocolatey flavors. I've purged the grinder off all the other beans and we are ready to go. So we're starting again by grinding some beans into a portafilter, dosing about 19 grams and using this time to purge the brew head of any old water and coffee grounds. We are then gonna tap and tamp those grounds. Lock in that portafilter, not forgetting to place our favorite flat white cup and a scale before we start our shot. While that's brewing, let's steam some silky milk. For that, we're starting with amazing full-fat milk by St. David's Dairy in Fitzroy in a pitcher. Purge out any water in the steam one and let's get steaming, being careful not to add too much air since we are preparing a flat white and not a cappuccino. We're then going to stop the shot when we get to roughly 26 grams in about 21 seconds, as I feel this recipe gives a nice strong taste of coffee, but not too overpowering as a double shot or weak like a single shot. You may also call this a double rizz, I think. Once steamed, always wipe the wand and purge off any milk residue. And let's do some latte art. Wiggle and boom, art. I present to you a classic flat white, smooth, nutty, and chocolatey goodness. Moving on to the signature drink, we need some beans to start with. Nice, this is a single origin Kenyan washed coffee by O&A Coffee, which has some nice fruity flavors that will be perfect to prepare our cold brew concentrate. So to prepare our cold brew, we need to grind our beans first. And I'm gonna try a trick common in the YouTube community. Nice, surprised it worked. We're gonna go with a 1:5 brew ratio for our concentrate, weighing out about 50 grams of coffee and then dumping them into the grinder. You're aiming for a ground size similar to that of filter coffee or sand. We're then gonna get a bottle, fail at flipping it, and throw in our ground beans. I'm using a V60 here as a funnel, which I will soon regret. Once magically cleaned and all the grounds are on the bottle, we're gonna top it off with water, about 250 ml. Close with the lid and give it a good shake so the coffee and water get to know each other. Place that in the fridge for about 12 hours. 12 hours later, we're gonna strain our coffee water mixture using a filter paper. You may notice that your filter is getting choked. Give it time till most of the liquid has been filtered. Transfer that liquid into a hipster looking bottle and there you go. You've made cold brewed concentrate. You can keep it in the fridge and consume within 3 to 5 days. On to preparing our signature drink. Start with a glass of your choice with 2 chunky ice cubes. Pour in about 50 ml of your cold brew concentrate, followed by a splash of orange bitter. We're then pouring in about 50 ml of Aperol spritz, or maybe a bit more. And then 200 ml of craft tonic water. I'm using Fever Tree Indian tonic water here. Give it a stir with a butter knife or something more capable of stirring. And there you go, a drink with nice fruity flavors with balanced sweetness from the tonic water. You can also put it in a cream whipper charged with CO2 for some extra carbonation. I call this Evening Sunshine, a cool, refreshing drink perfect for those warm summer evenings that have just passed.
Okay guys, here we have it. These are my 3 drinks. This is the espresso, the flat white, and the signature drink. The best part about preparing coffee at home is you have the flexibility to prepare and have the beverage anytime you want, even after 4 p.m. But even if you don't have a machine like this, you can still make pour over or filter coffee, which is equally good. In addition, there's so many drinks that you can experiment with, so many recipes, so many different coffee roasters and different types of coffee that you can try. And this machine has definitely come in handy during this time of isolation and lockdown. But I urge everyone to go support your local cafes, your local coffee roasters, buying beans online or takeaway coffee any way possible. So that's been it, guys. Thank you very much.